Good morning, everybody. This is my new message in a bottle. So I put out a very short one and just explained that there's about 30 plus videos of content on my channel. I don't try to overpost. I'm not trying, I don't think, to be any kind of influencer. Again, this is where I place my message in a bottle into the ocean of the internet. And I hope that, I don't know, it's a legacy. If anything, I get to look back and see if I've grown, see if I paid attention to events that are going on in the world. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Uh, New information always changes opinion or thought process. Values, I think, stay the same, but new information always changes things. So, with that being said, I just wanted to put out a new video. It's been a while, again, since I don't know, I think November. Yeah, the background changed, still in the garage. Just happened to do a little cleaning, moved it around. So, yep, still me. But anyways, with that being said, it's been the world just keeps getting crazier. I don't even know how to explain that in the sense that, well, I don't explain. I don't. I have an opinion. I share it, and I guess it's for you watching. And if you think it's relevant, you'll think about it yourself. But boy, in the last few months, just the whole world's just gotten a little crazier, which is it's very sad to me. And so with I think in October, well, not I think, but in October there was the attack by Hamas on Israel. Um, I'm not Palestinian. I'm not Jewish. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I am. Who knows? My heritage goes back to the Roman Empire, and God knows they ruled the world at the time. So I guess I'm a little bit of everything. So maybe that's why I can relate to everybody and everybody's kind of cause that they have. But with that being said, what I don't understand is that why wars constantly. I've posted before that I really just I can't stand neocons. I believe in peace, and neocons believe in war. Regardless of who it is, they don't even care. They don't care about the country. They don't care about your heritage. They don't care about your culture. They don't care about anything. All they care about is the military complex, the money, and death doesn't seem to bother them because it's never them that dies. And I'm not saying they should. That's not what I'm saying. But the fact being that they're the puppet masters, and the puppet masters of politicians all around the world. So not just in the United States, but in I think just about every government. I mean, I can't believe that everybody could be this stupid and have 7 billion people on the planet, and everybody just be this stupid. I don't get it. Maybe we're mindless drones. I'm not really sure. But get in. You see this attack, and Israel. Everybody says, oh, they should just stop. They should this. They should that. Well, think about this. I live in the United States. If somebody attacked the United States the way in which Hamas attacked Israel, what would happen? Let me think. Well, back in the Bush era, they claim that it was a group, that was based in Afghanistan, and then they claimed there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And what did the United States do? Literally level the country. I mean, and then it continued on and on and on. And then, you got Obama got in the office, and then there was the Arab Spring, literally destroyed countries, destroyed people's lives. Millions of people have died. And all of a sudden, people want to yell and scream and throw protests up against Israel because, yeah, there's death, and that is horrible. There's death on both sides. But Israel didn't start that. Hamas started. Why would they even do that? So here it is. You got the Gaza Strip. It's one of the most populous areas in the entire world. You got 8 miles. That's it. That is smaller than the city I grew up in. The city I grew up in was less than 8 miles long, and the population, even to this day, is less than 30,000. Gaza Strip has 2.8 million people living in that same area. That's density. With that being said, you look at Israel and they go, "Oh my gosh, they're bombing and they're killing and they're doing all this." Imagine if they didn't hold back and they got really pissed off and acted like, like the United States government does, and they leveled. 2.8 million people would die. Is this really where we're at? I mean, have we lost our humanity? I'm a Christian. I've stated that before, and I think to myself, if we are to that point as a human race, if we're even human anymore, in the sense that if we're willing to do such things, such horrible things, I hope that the second coming is around the corner. Not that I'm into Revelations or anything else, but at the same point, I don't even know if we deserve to exist if we could behave in such a manner. Any one of us. So it's kind of crazy. Israel did not go in and kill 2.8 million people. Thank God. Um, the Gaza Strip has been ruled as a government. They have their own government. I don't know why people don't research. Over 20 years. So the Palestinians had the PLO, and then they elected Hamas to take over the government. They literally elected these people to do it, and these people are a terrorist organization. So it's kind of like Iran. In the 70s, they had this Western civilization, and it was amazing. And yeah, the government was corrupt because it was a puppet of the United States. But every government just about in the world is a puppet of another government. It's just the players are big, and the biggest players win. I don't know how else do you not understand that? Money, power, military, the whole thing. It's the biggest powers. They always win. So you got China, you got Russia, you got the United States. I mean, England, it could be wiped off the face of the earth in seconds. They're a little island. I don't care what they have. If it wasn't for us, it wasn't for everybody else, I don't know they'd exist. Money, right? So again, with that being said, Israel, if you're out there hating on Israel, I don't have any respect for you. If you're hating the Palestinian people, maybe they're a bit misguided in the sense the same as we are in the United States, right? We have elected officials here. Some people might call them terrorists. I don't know, but they certainly don't make great decisions for us as citizens of our own country, right? But then again, I would hate for the rest of the world, and the rest of the world does. They do this. They judge Americans based on the government's actions. That's how this game is played, and people are judging, right? So they're not supposed to be judging, but they do anyways. They're judging everything based on a government's actions. That is not the actions generally by the people. So if there's 2.8 million people in Gaza, there's not 2.8 million people fighting Israel, just like there's not everybody in Israel wanting to go fight in Gaza. They did unite their population because they allowed a terrorist organization to attack them. How stupid. So you got that. It's just nuts. Thank God there's restraint in the sense that Israel, if they wanted to, they could have wiped out 2.8 million. And that would have been just, I think, end of times kind of stuff. It's not the right thing to do. And you know what? They didn't do the wrong thing. They did the right thing. They're just trying to defend themselves. If the people of Palestine were smart, they would go back, live their happy little lives, kick Hamas the hell out of the friggin' government, and take their own country back. There's 2.8 million of you living in Palestine, in the Gaza Strip. And guess what? There's not that many Hamas players. So why the hell are you letting a minority tell the majority what to do? But then again, if you look at the United States, that's exactly what we're doing. We're letting a minority tell the majority how to live. It's a very sad state of affairs. I have posted about the Ukraine war, but nobody talks about it anymore. Isn't it funny? A year ago, the only thing they could talk about was Ukraine war. Now all of a sudden, nothing. Just keep sending money. Nobody wants to talk about 1 million people that have died. And nothing has changed. 1 million people have died, hundreds of billions of dollars spent, and all for what? I said it was a currency war back then. That's all it was about. Because what? That and the fact that President Putin wanted to defend people that were of Russian descent living in the Donbass, and all he asked in the Minsk Accords was, hey, stop the genocide. The Ukrainians and the Russians don't really get along. It's in history. This is how it works. And Zelensky ran on the promise of signing those Minsk Accords. Guess what happened? He gets elected. He hasn't signed the Minsk Accords. You know why? Because the U.S. government gets involved and tells him, you're not doing that. Instead, they go to war. So Zelensky, he's a Nazi. They had no military. And the Nazi party stepped up and said, hey, we'll be your military. And he agreed. He made a deal with the devil. Why do people do this? I have no idea. They're evil is what they are. They're all evil. They're neocons. and death does not scare them. So they think that there's some terrorist Muslim out there, that are they're uh, fundamentalists, right? They're not afraid to die. Well, neither are the people that are running these neocon organizations. Right? They're not afraid of death. They encourage it as if it's some kind of honor. God gave us these days to live and enjoy the life in which He's given us. Instead, we as a people take advantage all across the world um, to do what? To do wrong? It doesn't make any sense to me. I really hope that other people think about that. So that the whole thoughts on Ukraine, everybody thinks, hey, you know what? When President Trump was in office, oh, I miss those days. But anyways, Afghanistan, he brought it up, and if people go back and look at the interview, and he said, yeah, I could end this war in a day, but I don't want to kill tens of millions of people. What did he mean by that? Well, what he meant was, yeah, sure, if we wanted to, we're the United States. We could drop a nuke, boom, flatten out some mountains, kill everybody, and we're done. But he didn't want to do that. He's a human being. He is actually human. People accuse him of being a warmonger, yet he didn't want to go to war. He didn't start a war. He ended a war, and he didn't want to kill a bunch of people. That makes him bad? Yeah, the neocons. That's what they want to tell you. He's a warmonger. How the hell did that work? Instead, right, what does he do? Restrain himself. The art of the negotiation, that's the art of the deal. That was it. He had a deal, but there was, with restraint, there was also reasons as to why he would pull out, how he would pull out, and protect the people of Afghanistan, protect the people of the United States, and hopefully come up with a better ending. Now, it's a excuse my French, but it's a fucking disaster. Again, after 20 years, all the blood, sweat, and tears, the money, the millions of people that have died, and all for what? Nothing changed. Nothing. Ukraine, been over a year in the war. A million people die. Nobody cares. Nothing's changed. You go to the Middle East, Arab Spring, what'd that do? Literally nothing. It's more corrupt now than it ever was before. And all for what? Money. People are greedy. Neocons, they get encouraged to go to war and fight for what? I have no idea. Why are you so willing to die? I don't know. If you are, I mean, wouldn't it just be easier to take yourself out in the shed? Take yourself out rather than mess with the whole rest of the world? I'm not encouraging somebody to go kill themselves. That's against God's rule to begin with. But at the same time, don't do any harm. Like, just stop yourselves before it's way too late. I mean, I don't know if it's too late yet, but it certainly feels like it's getting that way. And it's a scary place. I feel bad. I feel bad for the Israeli people. I feel bad for the Palestinian people, the Ukrainian people. I feel bad for the United States at this point. We're living here, and look at our own regime of a government. They're allowing immigrants to come in. They're illegal. I don't care how you want to say it. Our laws do not provide for this, and the government is allowing it. So therefore, it doesn't mean shit. What it means is it's still illegal. So everybody get caught up on their wokeism and the BS terms and the new laws they want to place, and the West Coast wants to do this, that, and the other. I don't give a shit about any of it, to be honest. Don't care. I still live in a real world where there are laws, and these people are legal. So now you let them in. And I mean, they all come in. Here's the piece. If they're getting bussed into the inner cities. And if that's the case, which is the case, and you see places like Chicago and New York and everything, they're so overwhelmed, it's insane. You can't handle that kind of influx of population and still think the infrastructure is going to support it, because it was never built to support it. So what do you really think's going on? Here's the thing I always said, the first shots of the Civil War are going to start in the inner cities. And what I mean by that is, so the United States government is, you look at their history, look at our history, right? So we got to say that. And look at the Indians, Native Indians, right? Where are they at? Reservations. Took all the land, put them in a reservation. Right? That's part of history. That's part of war. That's the conqueror took up the land, right? And unfortunately, that's what happened. Do I love the Indian history and culture? I sure do. I study it. I think a culture's been around thousands of years. Probably knows a hell of a lot more than a culture that's been around a couple hundred. Yeah, just fact. But on the other hand, you got all these BLM activists and all this other bullshit. I've said before, they're a fucking lie. And it's proven that they are a complete fucking lie. Who has actually benefited one iota from anything BLM has done? Nobody. Not one black person that I'm aware of, except for the people that are actually in the organization. And on top of it, who heads up the whole organization? A freaking white lady who is a terrorist, a Marxist. And that's who you choose to follow if you're a follower of BLM. I don't get it. So it's a great marketing prop, BLM, Black Lives Matter. Okay, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Great. That's not what they stand for. They're an arm of the DNC. Go to their website, go click on donate, and it says actblue.org. That is the DNC. If you're giving money to that organization, you are giving money to the Democrat organization. End of story. It's a war machine. Civil war machine. That's the worst part. But here's the thing. So for 2-3 generations, there have been many that have escaped the inner city. So God bless them, including myself and my family. We got out of the inner city. We came, my family came as immigrants. I'm only third generation, and you know what? We worked our asses off. We got out of the inner cities as things continue to get worse. And there's a lot of minorities that have worked their ass off to get out of the inner city because things have gotten worse. Because there's the good and the bad elements, and generally the bad elements are that's what ends up running the inner cities. It's the gangs, the horrible government, the horrible crime. You see it all over the place, right? So that being said, you have the minorities, which used to be the blacks, because all the other people kind of left. So with that being said, it's generational now, and they get stuffed into housing, right? And here's your free food, and here's your free housing, and everything else. But you ask me, how is that being free when you're completely dependent upon a government to support everything you need? And if they cut you off, you're screwed. So you have no other choice but to kiss their ass, which is what most blacks will do. Black people will vote Democrat and not even realize that you want to talk about enslavement? That's fucking enslavement. And if you don't realize it yet, and like you got Biden, if you ain't black, you ain't Democrat, whatever the hell he says, what a fucking, he told you the truth is what he did. You want to talk about a plantation? You want to talk about being put down? You want to talk about being controlled? Look at BLM. Look at the inner cities. Look at everything that is happening in this world and has been happening in this world, especially in the United States. But they do it the same thing. It just repeats and repeats and repeats. They found something that works, and they're doing it everywhere else. It's the same thing with every government. They mimic the bad behaviors of the neocons and the controlling factors of governments. So, but then you got all these people living in the inner city, and they've been intergenerational. And there are some great people, actually, right? It's how they were raised. It's how they live. It's where they have their lives. They have multi-generations there. And let me tell you, there are people that are that are black, in minorities and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and Hispanics. I mean, I grew up with everybody when I was in the inner city. And guess what? We all got along because we're all friggin' poor. And so nobody really messed with anybody because you know what? Nobody had shit. We looked out for one another. Nowadays, they kind of still do. So with that being said, and the majority of the minority in the inner city is black. That's okay. That's where you choose to live. That's how you want to live. No judgment. But now the U.S. government decides, hey, you know what? Here's a great idea. We're going to throw 12 to 15 million new illegal immigrants into the inner cities. And they're going to use up all your housing. They're going to take up all your resources. You're not going to have food. You're not going to have medicine. You don't have housing. And all of a sudden, if you are still dumb enough to vote for that to happen, you're literally voting for your own demise. I don't think that's going to happen in a sense. So what I think is that people in the inner city are going to wake up. And like I said, the first shots of a civil war are going to happen in inner cities because they're going to defend their land. It's a fact. I mean, you can't have 12 million people come in and take all your housing, all your food, all your medicine, all your resources that the government gives away for free, even more to them than they do you. And you guys, I mean, the inner city generations have been here for hundreds of years. So what do people think is going to happen? Inner cities are going to explode, not because they wanted to, but they're going to do it to defend themselves. Everybody thinks, oh my gosh, it's the white suburban, somebody that believes in MAGA, which is Make America Great Again. A conservative value system, that's what's going to cause a civil war. No, not that. That's not what it's about. If you want to make America great again, why would you destroy it? You don't want to destroy it. You want to make it great again. When was it great? Back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, right? What happens then? JFK gets shot, Alphabet takes over, neocons take over, and nothing but wars ever since. Where's the country gone? To hell in a handbag. Has there been opportunity for a lot of people to make a lot of money, move up? Sure, it still exists. But eventually it's not going to exist if we maintain this road. I mean, it's a path. It's horrible. And I hope that this video gets out and it reaches people. I've said so many times that I think Tucker Carlson watches my videos because I watch his videos. And a lot of the stuff he's covering now is stuff that I have been saying for over a year. So who's right, who's wrong, who was first? I don't know, car of the horse. I really don't care. The guy gets 80 million, 100 million views on his videos. That's amazing. But you know what? I said it first, man. I tried to explain what I was seeing. I tried to say what I thought was going to happen, and sure as hell, it has happened. I mean, our country currently, $34 trillion in debt? You really think we're really going to get out of debt? There's no way it happens. No way. And, when Trump was in office, he did a interview with Maria Bartiromo, and he actually said, we're not 33. At that point, we're in the 20s. As far as debt, trillion. And he says that's not even the real number. It's 10 times that. It's 200 trillion. People don't realize that every dollar that was in this, that's supposedly collected for Social Security, right, goes into an account where there's nothing there. Our own federal government stole all of our money that we paid in all of our lives to use for wars. That's it. It's gone. So every dollar that every person that lives on Social Security or gets Medicare or Medicaid or anything else, guess what? We're borrowing to actually send that money out every month. We don't have taxes to cover it. So who are you going to tax? The rich? There's not enough money in the world to cover the debt that we have. There's not enough money in the United States to cover the whole idea of giving everybody all this free shit. You know what? If you went to college, pay your own fucking debt. There's a thought. You went to college, you made the choice, you signed the contract, you took out the loan, pay your own fucking debt. It's not for me. I busted my ass. I didn't go to college. I busted my ass. I worked, I earned my money, and I didn't ask anybody for it. So why do you think, or anybody else think, that free tuition? No, that was not part of anything. The only people that get free tuition were people that earned it via scholarship. And if they got it from a scholarship, hey, good for you. If you didn't, pay your fucking taxes. Pay your debts. You know why you can't pay your debt? You know why you can't get rid of it? Because Obama, during Obamacare, took over the student loan system and said the banks were not allowed, or they could make the loan, but it was all going to be federally backed. And because it was federally backed, all the interest was going to go to the U.S. government so they could use it to help fund Obamacare. How did that work out for everybody? So all of a sudden, you want to forgive all the debt. Well, if you forgive all the debt, there goes all the interest. All the interest was supposed to pay for Obamacare. So now what happens to that? Well, that gets screwed, right? Which means all of you, again, Democrats, even me at the time, got suckered into that one thinking, hey, we're going to do something good. Yeah, we got suckered really good. That went to hell in a handbag. Obamacare sucks. The funding for it sucks. And now we got Biden forgiving student debt, which is actually the largest amount of money generating income we have in the United States other than taxes itself. And he's forgiving federal debt for what purpose? Right? So you're going to bankrupt us even more? And then we're going to borrow even more? I don't get it. And if you guys have an answer, hey, leave it in a comment. But none of this makes any sense. So I tell you right now, I could sit there and talk till I'm blue in the face. I don't tell you who to vote for. I don't tell you who not to vote for. I think you kind of get an idea where I fall. I'll tell you straight up. I voted Democrat my entire life. I grew up during the Kennedy years. Why wouldn't you vote Democrat? Until they killed Kennedy, right? It just took me another 20 years to figure that out. The DNC is not what it used to be. And you know what? The Republicans are not what they used to be. It's all a uniparty now. All they care about is who funds them, who backs them, and who's going to give them money. That's it. It's all about power and greed. Ultimate right power is ultimate corruption, and that is what has happened now. So, with that being said, I mean, a little longer video to say the least. I hope you took some time to watch this and, leave a comment, share it with others, make others think just by let them watch it, right? So, if you watch it, hopefully you'll think, and then you form an opinion, not based on me, but based on just maybe a little something you heard today. So, with that being said, I hope you have a blessed day. I pray for all of us around the world. I still would love to hear from, and Putin did put out a ton of remarks as to why things are happening the way they happened in Ukraine. And lo and behold, the guy probably told us more truth than we got from our own government. How crazy is that here in the United States? But this is going around the world, all over the place. People need to wake up, and people from all over the world, based on what I look at my channel analytics, all around the world are watching my videos, which are interesting. I mean, it's not about views, it's about how many different countries, and it's crazy. It's like over 30 countries. So if you're watching this, I'm not saying, I mean, I just think you need to think about where's the world going and who really is our enemy. It's not me sitting in my garage. Do you see me standing here with a gun or some shit? I'm not. Am I threatening you? Absolutely not. If you're in some other country, I wish you nothing but peace and happiness for you and your family. If you choose differently, that's your choice, not mine. Just like when Hamas attacked Israel. They chose war. Israel didn't start it. Hamas did. Now, my father always taught me, you don't start fights. But if you get in a fight, you better finish it. That's what I got taught as a child from my father. Right, just going to school, and that's how it was. I mean, if I had started a fight, I'd have got my ass kicked. But when I got in a fight, because somebody else came at me, the only thing my father ever asked me was, did you start it? And if I said no, we were good. Then he'd say, did you finish it? And I said, yes, sir. And we were good. Had I started it, had I been the one to pick on somebody, there are people that know me. They knew my father. And they also know he kicked my ass. I learned you don't take advantage of your advantages in life. If you happen to be a little bigger, a little stronger, a little more muscular, a little more whatever, smarter, you don't go beat somebody up because you're having a bad day. You don't go beat somebody else because you don't agree with everything they say. That's just not how the world is supposed to work. And my father was an SOB, let me tell you. But you don't start the problem. But if somebody starts with you, you finish the problem. So anyways, I hope everybody has a blessed day. God bless you all. We all worship God, which is most of us anyways. That very small minority that doesn't believe in God, and I don't know, that's your opinion. I mean, do what you please. But if you're a Christian in any way, you're a conservative person. And if you're a conservative person, how can you vote for the people that you call the DNC, which they don't line up with anything conservative I'm aware of? Nothing, right? If you're Catholic and you think that the Vatican and the Pope is so awesome, I just wondered, like, do you think Jesus Christ decided that, the Vatican was supposed to exist? Do you think that one man, the Pope, a person, the Pope, that's supposed to represent what God here on earth via Jesus Christ, was supposed to live in the lap of luxury? Have a banking system that would fund wars? There's a whole lot of people in this world that are poor, and the Vatican sits on some of the most amount of money in the entire world, and yet that's who you go for. Open up your eyes. I'm sorry, that is not how it was meant to be. What I have, God has given me the ability to earn and get, and I enjoy. I live a blessed life. I do. But when I have the opportunity to help others, just by giving, because I was given in that sense, right? I was given the opportunity to go work hard and earn things and have things. But I also have the ability now to give back. If all of you are in the same place and you really are conservatives, it's time to give back to everybody, but everything has to be reasonable. I give to people that need, not want. There's a big difference. If you're in need, I would give you the shirt off my back. the food out of my refrigerator, I would take it out of my own mouth. If all you do is want what I have, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. I will not give somebody that wants. Somebody that needs, 100%. So again, with that, God bless you. I hope you have a great day. It's been a very long video, and I hope you get to listen, and I hope you got to watch, and I hope you get to share it. Hopefully, leave me a comment. If you think I'm nuts, say it. If you like it, say it. But for fuck's sake, wake up, people. Wake up. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I'm not saying go woke, because that's some crazy shit, but just wake up to what's going on in the world and learn to be good again before it is too late for all of us. Have a great day.